And the first women's quarterfinal here between two Japanese players, Mariko Takahashi and Yuki Matsumoto, will start. You're going to see a big difference here between the men's game and the women's game. Generally, the women's game a lot more focused on close table, shorter swings, control spin on the opening balls, and then fast, sharp driving, good placement.
2-1.
It sounds like Takahashi using short pimples on her backhand. Two left-handers, just what I like to see. I think during this match, two left-handers, we're going to see a lot of backhand-to-backhand rallies. It'll be down to the initiating player to see who can change the placement. We usually play that stroke down the line. Just misjudges that ball.
2-6.
We are waiting to see also if we can track down Adam Bobrow. There's a slight possibility he may be joining me to commentate this match.
2-7.
Still unsure if he's involved in playing his own matches. Looks like the players of new ball.
7-3.
Can be common in this recent era of the game to have a few more ball breakages. Here we go with the backhand to backhand rallies. Great finisher.
7-4.
Was, of course, the player on the far side who took the advantage going around to play forehand off that backhand corner. Great to have this live on Facebook. Please do feel free to ask any questions about the game, the players. We will do our best to keep you in the loop.
10-5. Game 1, 11-5.
And the first game, 11-5 for Matsumoto. You have to excuse me. I'm struggling my way to try and get things done here by myself. Hopefully Ryan will be joining me shortly. I can get to some of your comments. Any more men matches today? Yes. Yes, there are. After the 4 women's quarterfinals, we'll be streaming the men's semifinals, which will see Wang Wei and Ho Yung Chao, the defensive players, head off against each other. And Bob Chen from California taking on the most recent semifinalist, Jin Takuya, the 2nd seed of the event. Slightly passive on the follow-up there.
1-1.
Great high toss serve, got the high ball. Lost the advantage in the rally a little.
Kei Kagasawa and Yuki Takahashi, please report to control desk.
Drawn up here at the start of the 2nd game. It's for the high toss again. Great switch down the line.
2-4.
As I said, we're going to be seeing a lot of that. 2 left-handers playing. Being left-handed myself, a lot of backhand-to-backhand control. It's up to one player to take initiative, go around and play forehand, or like we just saw, switch the ball down the line and open up the table rally. Matsumoto heading out to a big lead here, 6-2.
6-3.
So if we take a look back through the draw here,
3-7.
we will find out who these players beat to make it to this quarterfinal.
To the control desk, please. Gloria Soon to the control desk.
So, and possibly what might be the biggest, I would say upset, but the match wasn't played. It was Matsumoto who came through to the quarterfinals after top seed Cheng Yi-Cheng defaulted. I'm not sure whether that was due to an injury, but the world number 7 no longer in the women's draw. And Mariko Takahashi having an absolute marathon in the round of 16 to win 9 in the 7th over Azusa Ichikawa rather. One match I'm really looking forward to is the 4th quarterfinal, which will be between Yui Odono and Adriana Diaz Gonzalez, one of the upcoming players from the American continent. Getting some great comments here. Ryan Willard just texted he's working the slots in the Bellagio. I've been duped. Hopefully he loses and then he'll come back soon.
Takahashi's serve, 0-0.
see the very subtle changes in placement when they're playing backhand to backhand, going into the middle of the backhand, a little bit across towards the middle line, out wider to the backhand. To a plain viewer, it might look like these balls are going to the same place, but even the smallest change in placement, 5 to 10 centimeters, can make a huge difference as to how a player reacts. And it is 1-1 in the third game. Yuki Matsumoto with a 2-0 lead.
1-2.
We had a lot of fun during the men's quarterfinals, running the commentary. Very much looking forward to Ryan coming back so we can carry on that newly created tradition.
2-2.
Of course, these matches are the best of 7. The first player to win 4 games. 2 serves each. Haven't really seen Takahashi be able to make much of a dent here. Some big rallies, quick backhand to backhand exchanges.
2-4.
It's the ability to take the rally out of that backhand to backhand driving phase that will give the player an advantage. And it's Matsumoto who so far has shown a great ability to do that. Carrying the ball across wide to the forehand and then back across to the backhand. Really utilizing great placement and space in the table. Takahashi moving the ball from the middle of the backhand, cross a little to the elbow. Again, these subtle differences in placement. Gets some incredible height on that high toss serve. So far, we've seen both players struggling a little bit with the slightly higher flat drive ball, just with the timing and ball bounce judgment. Nobody was home.
6-8.
6-8, trailing by 2 points. Can Takahashi come back into this match by winning the third game? Both players short pimple rubber on their backhand. Playing very short, compact, quick strokes. A little flatter. Not like the backhands we saw in our previous men's singles match. Big swings, a lot of topspin.
10-6.
So 10-6 and game point for Takahashi. The pressure is on. Can she close out the third game? Yes, she can. 11-7, and it's 2-1. The gap closes. I have some good news. Ryan Willard is back with us.
You can just call me Ryan Burgundy, whatever it is you want.
Ryan Burgundy.
I'm back because I couldn't keep my eyes off this match. I'm supposed to be doing a...
Actually, somebody said that you texted saying you were working the slots at the Bellagio.
Not sure what that means, but 95% sure I didn't say that, but okay.
I was just saying we've switched to a very different game style from the men's singles matches we've been seeing.
What's the difference in these two players?
Well, funnily enough, there isn't that much difference between them. They're both left-handed. They both have short pimples on their backhand. And they both have fairly compact strokes and similar service games. So it's very interesting to see. I mean, when you're playing a player that is almost identical in style to yourself, you know what they're strong at and you know what they're weak at. But both players are in the same situation, so it's difficult to kind of try and work tactics. So far, it's been a kind of first mover advantage. And you can see there, going around the corner and playing that forehand, instead of settling into these backhand to backhand rallies, makes a huge difference in the scoreline. If you're watching live on Facebook, please feel free to ask us any questions. We'll give it 80% for table tennis. Maybe 10% for unrelated.
2-2.
We will do our best to answer your questions about the players, their styles, their road to the quarterfinals. We have a lot more Japanese players in the women's draw who have advanced to this quarterfinal stage. Two featuring in this quarterfinal. Saki Tashiro will play in the second semifinal. The third semifinal between Kawasawa and Takahashi will also be two Japanese players in the third semifinal and one more Japanese player in the fourth semifinal. So a great showing from Japan to invite these players to participate in this tournament. And I feel it really gives a very professional vibe to the tournament. And I know in particular, Japanese players always dress for the occasion. You don't see a lot of Japanese players that don't dress like real professionals. I have a question here. Any Chinese players playing? Well, not Chinese players from the Chinese national team. There are some American-based Chinese players here, based in the US. Some have traveled for this tournament.
Wow, a huge offensive smash from Takahashi. She takes the point. She's down by 1. Up by 1, I'm sorry. 4 serving 5. Matsumoto, right down the line, hitting that corner hard, taking the point, tying it up.
Down the line is really going to become an important play in this match. I was saying 2 left-handers, especially female players who like to counter drive a lot of backhand to backhand rallying. And to change the ball down the line, whether you go around and play forehand or you switch the ball down the line with your backhand, that's really breaking from the pattern, taking the initiative, and making the first move. And I feel like that's going to give the players the advantage. Working her way back into the table. Almost came back in. I can tell you right now, neither of these players want to be back from the table. They are very much close table players.
Matsumoto to serve. 5 serving 7.
Great pivot forehand there. That's the kind of initiative I'm talking about.
What exactly is a pivot forehand?
Well, a pivot forehand is moving around the corner. Instead of settling to play for a backhand, you step around and play a forehand, and the demonstration follows. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
For once, we've gone in the opposite direction to the commentator's curse.
Ask and ye shall receive.
7-7.
We're tied at 7 apiece. Matsumoto leads 2 games to 1. Takahashi to serve.
Really seen Takahashi stepping her game up.
8-7.
It's a little bit of a slow start for her, but she's finding her rhythm in the rallies, finding her confidence around the corner and out wide on the forehand. In the women's game, placement and speed combined together are really the core of the female game. You see a lot of high-speed exchanges and just ball placements all over the place. It's a very, very quick exchanges, trying to tie the other player in knots.
And a bad bounce gives Takahashi the point and the lead. She's still down by 1 game, but she's up by 1 point. Matsumoto to serve.
Nice little just extra punch she put into that backhand.
Matsumoto trying to take a decisive lead in this match. We're tied at 9 points apiece.
Anytime the players let their heel off in this match, the other player is going to come through and drive through the ball. They're always going to be looking to take that advantage.
Matsumoto takes that point. It's suddenly game point.
Good question here. Only Japanese players will play. Well, no. We're at the US Open Championships. We've actually had players from 42 different countries competing here.
9, game 4, Matsumoto. 11-9.
Game 4 goes to Matsumoto. 11-9.
Matsumoto pulls it out in the last few points.
Is the first women's quarterfinal. 3 more to come after this match. We've already played the men's quarterfinals and discovered our semi-finalists, which will be played. Those matches will be played this evening after the women's quarterfinals finish. The Japanese women having great success in the draw so far. 6 out of the 8 quarterfinalists hailing from Japan.
Game 5,
Right now,
Takahashi to serve.
Matsumoto with the 3-1 lead. And she will be, no doubt, capitalizing on the walkover that she received in the previous round over world rank number 7, Cheng Yi-Cheng. We'll have to try and find out the reason for that default for you. The players working their way towards the final, which will be held at the SLS Hotel and Casino at the Foundry nightclub.
Which is a gorgeous spot. Oh my goodness. An excellent rally. Matsumoto just firing.
Is Lily Zhang playing? Another question here. Lily Zhang, unfortunately, is not playing in the US Open this year. She's currently doing finals at Berkeley College.
She's getting her edumacation.
Still very passionate about table tennis.
Lily's one of my favorite players to watch. So much passion she really just puts on the court. Explodes out of her. So much skill. So much class. Would have loved to see her compete in this, but it is a tough field.
Just a little bit kind of pulled out of that shot a tiny bit. Really no room for hesitance in these high-speed exchanges. You have to make the decision in the blink of an eye.
Wow.
In the literal sense.
Can't keep it on the table. Matsumoto has the point, the lead, and the serve, but gives it up. We're tied at 4 games apiece. Matsumoto still up 3 games to 1.
Great shot down the line. It's that kind of change-up.
Matsumoto just playing one step ahead.
Look at the way the placement moves.
That was beautiful.
It's a lot of focus on switching across the transition, backhand across to forehand, forehand back across to backhand. Always really testing the speed at which they can change between both shots.
And a huge serve coming from Matsumoto. Taking the 2-point lead. She wants to close this out. Takahashi to serve. 5 serving 7. Stomping the yard in frustration.
5-8.
Matsumoto 3 points away from advancing to the semifinals. Make that 2 points away.
9-5.
Matsumoto to serve. Wow. Hitting that corner hard. Takahashi still in it to win it.
Well, we've seen her turn these situations around. It's not completely out of the question here. Matsumoto certainly holds the advantage in this set and in this match.
Matsumoto just overpowering Takahashi. This is match point. Takahashi not quite done yet.
Just leaves that ball a little bit low.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Yuki Matsumoto wins 4 games to 1. She wins 11-7. She will be moving on to the semifinals, which are taking place tonight right here, live from Las Vegas. This is the 2016 US Open.